Nithyanandam, everyone! Welcome back to the Kundalini Yogini. Thank you so much for joining in if you are here. I believe this is the first time or maybe the second time I've ever gone live on YouTube. I'm really excited to start going live here and interacting with you guys and taking your live questions. So if you're new, my name is Prasiddha and this channel is all about conscious living and specifically through the lens of Sanatana Dharma, authentic yoga, and the Veda agamic knowledge. And basically today I am sharing with you guys one of my most passionate topics, which is health in the human body, and specifically through the lens of Ayurveda, the science of life, or Indian traditional medicine. And I wanted to share with you guys, really I feel this is like a must know knowledge, need to know for all human beings in order to live their potential, prevent disease, and experience true health in this lifetime and in this body. And that is the three major causes of disease within Ayurveda. Now, in this framework, in this holistic medicine system, it's understood that there's three main ways diseases manifest in a human body. And I'm going to go through those one by one. The first one is ahara, or diet. The food that you eat, the things that you drink, what you consume and intake in your body is completely essential and a cause of either health or disease or disorders manifesting in your body. It's pretty straightforward, and I think that's probably clear to most of you guys listening to this channel. But the second one gets a little more interesting, and that is considered misuse of the senses. There's actually a Sanskrit shloka which is asatmya indriyartha samyoga, which is unwholesome use of the senses. What this means is that you can either overuse, misuse, or use too less of your five sensory organs, which is your eyes, your ears, your nose, your tongue, and your skin. Those are your five sensory organs, how you perceive, right? All the ways that we perceive life. And I find this one to be very interesting because it's not something that's talked about at all within a Western medical framework as a cause of disease. And yet, if we think about it, the way we experience life itself is through our senses, our sensory organs. So the understanding in Ayurveda is that we need to really take care of those sensory organs. We have to do maintenance on them. We have to cleanse them, and we have to, more importantly, not misuse them. One example of an overuse of your senses would be, blasting really loud music all hours of your days. So maybe like 5 days a week you listen to really, really loud music all the time. That's going to be a misuse of your ear, of your hearing, the sense of your hearing. Another example would be watching horror films or really graphic violence on television or in movies, and that can really be a misuse of your eyes, your vision, your sense of vision. And so just like this, you can think of all the ways that we misuse our senses in our day-to-day life, especially in our modern culture, right? There's a lot of ways that we misuse our senses. And the last way we manifest disease through an Ayurvedic framework is my absolute favorite because I think this concept is so relevant and so essential. And that is a concept called prajnaparadha, which is basically the understanding that you can misuse your intellect, a misuse of your intellect. What this means is ultimately when you know something is wrong for you or unhealthy for you, but you choose it anyway. I think this is so profound because when we really look at how we function as human beings and how we perceive knowledge and information, it's really amazing to see how often when we learn something is wrong for us, or I should say unhealthy for us, for our body or our mind or our spirit, but we still decide for those things that we know are unhealthy for us, that we know cause us suffering or pain or discomfort or disease in the long run, but we still choose for it because of a lack of self-control. That is a very pertinent cause of disease within Ayurveda. And I find that so profound and fascinating and true, because it's almost the concept that doing something unhealthy out of ignorance is one thing, but doing something unhealthy when you have the right knowledge, but you're not using it and you decide for unhealth anyway, is almost like a next level of violence against yourself. It's a violence against yourself and a disrespect of your body. And so I really feel like this is a really important conversation we need to have with ourselves in our health journey. And I think that that's a beautiful compass we can use to navigate health and to understand how something might be good for us or bad for our body by, using that framework. So those are the 3 main causes of disease within Ayurveda. I hope that shed a little light onto these topics for you guys, and that it helps you navigate your own health and how you can take care of your most highest blessing of this life, which is your human body. So I hope that it really helps you guys navigate and understand our experience a bit more in depth. So now I'm going to be opening up for a live Q&A. So I just wanted to start off with that topic, and now you guys can go ahead and ask away, ask your questions. So I'm going to pull up your questions real quick here, okay? And thank you guys so much for joining in. It's really fun I always love doing live streams for this reason. It's really cool to get to interact, directly, and I get to answer your questions directly as best as I can. So I'm going to pull it up right now on my computer. 1 second. Okay. So remedies for mental illness is the first thing I saw there. Absolutely, yes. There is many things you can do to balance the qualities of the mind, is how I'm explaining this now from an Ayurvedic framework, okay? So we understand that not only the body has different qualities or doshas, certain energies, biological energies that rule the body, but the mind also has these gunas or qualities, which is sattva, rajas, and tamas. And sattva is like a pure balanced state, a complete purity and complete balance of your mental faculties. Rajas is like a hyperactivity. It's responsible for all your energy and ideas. And tamas is almost like an inertia. It's stagnation. Laziness can come from it when it's imbalanced. So just like this, each disease, including mental disorders, are looked at, and you can absolutely balance them through specific and individualized diet, herbs, and lifestyle remedies. I can't give you, an answer, because Ayurveda is a very, very individualized science, and I think it's really, really important to note that you should get personally evaluated for your case, because you cannot just give a general band-aid like we do in Western medicine. For every single human being is different. Your constitution is different, so we have to look at that. Thanks for joining from Instagram all the way to here. All right, so currently Inner Awakening is actually not happening under the name of Inner Awakening, because that was actually kind of a few years back that the program was called Inner Awakening. Now it is called as Paramashivaham, and it is happening this December. There's a December program happening, which is going to be really, really magical and amazing. So if you're interested in that, I'm actually not sure on all the details of the program myself, but you can, I believe the website address is paramashivaham.innerawakening.org. I will type that in the comments after the live stream so you can get it clearly. I'm just going to keep reading these comments here. Do I play sports or dance? I used to when I was younger. I played volleyball because I'm really tall. If you guys don't know already, those of you who probably haven't met me in person can't really tell behind the camera, but I'm really tall. I'm 6 feet tall. So I'm a very tall woman, and I played volleyball in high school and I loved it. And I did ballet for many years when I was younger, but that was all much younger in my life, so I don't do that so much anymore. But I do yoga and I do ecstatic dance for fun. Yeah, Francisco, amazing book you can read that is specifically Ayurvedic knowledge relating to the mind and consciousness and psychology is called Ayurveda and the Mind by Dr. David Frawley. Amazing book. I'm like halfway through it right now, but it's really profound and really beautiful stuff. Where am I now? I am in Los Angeles. This is my home, my hometown. I'm back in LA, have been for about 4 or 5 months now, so I'm here, yeah. Okay. Can I type the Sanskrit words? Absolutely. I will type them in the description of this live stream after I go get offline. I'll type up everything so you guys can look it up yourselves and research further into it. Oh, repetitive sore throat. That's a really good question. Repetitive sore throat can, again, though, be many, many things. So it's really hard to take out of context. That would definitely is a sign of an imbalance, though, in your dosha. And so quite often, if it relates to mucus, like if it's a mucusy type of sore throat, you're coughing up mucus, that usually relates to a kapha imbalance. Otherwise, it could be one of the other doshas, depending on your symptoms. What is the greatest thing you hope to achieve in life? Oh, wow, what a question. I think my personal dharma or mission is ultimately to help give as many people as possible on earth the tools to heal themselves and then empower themselves, and ultimately to be able to achieve enlightenment or liberation itself in this lifetime through the framework of Sanatana Dharma, because that's where I've found the most powerful tools to be. So I hope to share those tools, including yoga and Ayurveda, with as many people as possible. Okay. Ooh, this is a really good question. Can you let us know if consuming onion and garlic is good? Okay, so we can't really write off anything as good or bad, but if you're looking from the yogic context of the goal of balancing the mind completely, wanting to have the highest spiritual capacity for consciousness to manifest through your body, then you want to maintain a sattvic state of mind and a sattvic body. And onion and garlic are not sattvic, they are rajasic, and so they can completely imbalance the mind. They also, my guru explains that they can increase morning time depression. So especially if you're doing a spiritual routine or wanting to wake up early and follow that lifestyle, it will inhibit that process as well. So that's a really great question. But within Ayurveda, you will see, I'll just say this as an additional information, you will see the use of onion and garlic. Garlic is kind of considered actually like a herb, medicinal herb, and onion is considered in the vegetable category. But how they're used is also very specific and as to your dosha. So if you have a imbalance of pitta, you don't want to consume a lot of onion because it's going to increase your pitta and it's going to imbalance you further. So it depends on your dosha in that context as well. Okay. What about past lives? How can you trust what is real and what's a fantasy? And is it important to know about our past lives, I think is what you're asking. Yes, so past lives very much exist, obviously within the framework of Sanatana Dharma, of Hinduism, and of most Eastern tradition. And they definitely have their place and their use. That being said, I think it's more of a intellectual excitement and fun to know about your past lives versus a spiritual necessity, if that makes sense. So I think that a lot of times we overemphasize the need to know about our past lives and their impact on our current life. They definitely, of course, do impact our karma and our patterns in this life, so to speak. And it's important to clear those. But for the most part, I think that we have enough to deal with in this present body that we should first address before we go too deep into our past lives. And yes, but they definitely have their place, and they can help bring clarity to things. And how do we know what's authentic? In my experience, when you practice really authentic meditation and yoga, you will start to remember your past lives. That's been my experience, and get those downloads to you. And you'll know when it's real and not a fantasy, because it doesn't just feel like a dream, it feels like a memory. There's a big difference in your consciousness when you experience it, and it feels very tangible and very different. And another way you can authentically find out about your past lives is through getting an Akashic reading. That's the only type of like outside influence I would recommend in finding out your past lives, because it's from an authentic space of enlightened child saints that offer this service, and they are initiated through a guru disciple lineage, and that really, really matters. So they're pure channels for the reading of the Akashic records. Don't just trust anybody online. Don't just trust random psychics. And I'm not discrediting everybody. I'm just saying it's very hard to tell who's authentic. So I'm just vouching for the Akashic records readings that you can get through our temple and child saints, and they're free. So there's obviously no ulterior motives. They're completely free. And I'll put the link for those also in the description once I get offline. Okay, what is next? So how many Rudrakshas should we wear? 108 minimum? Great question. Rudraksha, I'm actually going to be posting a video on this within the next few weeks. My husband just posted an awesome video on them as well. So definitely recommend checking that out for more information. Rudraksha, there's many scriptural references I have this actual references I read myself in the Sanskrit references that can't even really say enough of how many Rudrakshas you should be adorning your body with as a yogi. I would say 108 is a minimum in a way. Like it talks about wearing hundreds of strands around your neck, around your arms, around your wrists, around your waistband, on your head, across your forehead, in your hair, on your ears. So like it's really a lot of references for Rudraksha in the yogic philosophy, and their benefits are obviously numerous. Great question. I really like this question, Sergio. What are your opinions about marijuana in yoga and meditation? So this is a tough question, I feel, in the sense that I do notice sometimes people don't like the answer. And there's a lot of controversy, I would say, about this, and a lot of different answers you'll see coming up, on the online platform. But marijuana can definitely be a tool to take you to a fourth dimensional consciousness if you are still functioning in third dimensional consciousness. So if you're really new on your spiritual path, or maybe you have a lot of, different blocks in your body and mind, people will smoke and they will see their consciousness shift towards, in a higher spiritual way. But what you'll see after that, and as you do a lot of sadhana and spiritual practice, and you practice authentic yoga and meditation, that marijuana will absolutely limit the expanse of your consciousness, and it will keep you stuck and, for lack of a better word, very cloudy and hazy in your conscious experience. It won't allow you to pass a certain standpoint of consciousness. And so no, I would say in general, it is absolutely not a part of authentic yoga and meditation practice traditionally. And we should understand there's a lot of thousands of years of ancient wisdom behind that knowledge. And to answer your question that you might have of, well, then why do sadhus and yogis in India smoke, who are devotees of Shiva? You have to understand they have a totally different context. The problem is we take one person or a handful of people's actions out of context and think they apply to us. The reason why Babas and sadhus often smoke marijuana is because they're already in an enlightenment space, in a very high consciousness where their consciousness is completely almost out of their body. And in order to keep this body alive and grounded and to be seriously able to function in this body, they smoke to ground themselves. So keep that in mind, that if you're using it, it's gonna have that effect. So if you're already grounded, you're just gonna further ground yourself. You're not gonna necessarily be able to go into higher and higher states of consciousness at all, because it actually has a grounding property to it. So I just wanted to, I hope that kind of gives some clarity on that. Now, what I also want to mention though, of course, there's absolutely no moral judgment on smoking or not. So don't feel guilty. Don't feel like I'm putting anything like that down. I'm just letting you know the facts in the yogic tradition. That's all. So there's absolutely no judgment. It's up to you to decide what feels right for you, but that's just the context that I have learned and experienced myself. Okay. What else we got here? Oh, sorry about the trolls, guys. I don't even want to waste any time addressing that. That's complete nonsense, but it's okay. We'll continue on with your authentic questions, okay? Okay, you're saying you wrote to me on the completion process? Okay, I will definitely get back to you. Sorry, it just takes me some time because I have to filter through a lot of messages weekly, so I'm really sorry about that. Just I promise you I will get back to you. And if you notice that for whatever reason it's been like multiple weeks and I haven't responded, feel free to just message me again. It might have gotten lost in my inbox, honest, like genuinely. I don't feel like you're spamming me. You can message me additionally so that it pops back up to the top and I will get to it. Oh, is there a good book that talks about the properties of all foods? That's a great question. I did just purchase a amazing book, and I haven't, I'm still like, finding my own resources in the world of Ayurveda, but I bought a book called Eat, Taste, Heal, I believe it's called. Dang, I don't have it in this room right now, but it's a really awesome cookbook, but it also talks about like all the basic principles of Ayurveda in food. So I would definitely recommend checking that one out. It's really amazing. Thank you so much, Gaja Mandala. I'm not sure what your real name is, but that's really amazing to hear. I'm so glad. And yes, that's a great point, producer Chris. That's a great point, though. It is absolutely it's been completely hybridized and grown differently, obviously, over thousands of years. So you have to keep that in mind as well, that the quality of the substance is not the same as it used to be. Even if the yogis used it thousands of years ago, it wasn't the same herb that is grown today, right? So that's a great point, too. Is astral projection real? Ooh, cool question. Is astral projection real? I've been trying with no success. Yes, Yoshi, it is definitely real. Definitely real. But yeah, it's definitely something which you have to practice and is not necessarily easily attainable by most people. That being said, I also always say this about astral projection. You have to be really careful with who you're learning this from and what tools you're using to do it, because majority of what's out there is not educated properly material on consciousness. And so what happens is, I'll just give you like a preliminary warning. My brother also personally experienced this, so I'm sharing, second person to that, but he experimented for many, many years with astral projection and was successful. He had some pretty incredible experiences, but he stopped, and there's a reason for that. what he experienced in astral projection, and I've heard this from many, many people, is that what happens is when you're astral projecting, you are at a certain plane and dimension that other beings are in. And those beings also have their own free will, and all of them, I don't like to use the term, bad, but some of them are not necessarily beneficial to you or your consciousness and can be very frightening conscious encounters in the astral space. And one of my friends and followers on here actually told me that she learned it through a guru who actually told them about all the proper mantras to use while astral projecting to prevent this. And I thought that was really cool. So definitely you have to find out though what's authentic and be very wary, because it is a space where other entities can latch onto you and affect you. So you have to know your tools and know what you're doing for sure. Do a lot of research. Okay, let's keep going. Is there any way to maintain Ayurvedic routines without everything that is needed? Because I don't have resources to get all vegetables or vegan ingredients. Yeah, I feel for you. It's honestly, even anywhere that you are in the world, it's harder and harder to get organic produce, fresh food in general, local produce. It's crazy. It's a crazy world that we live in. So I would definitely recommend do your best, do your level best. Nobody's expecting perfection out of you, but take steps each week, each day, each month to be able to just put the best things inside your body, and I know it sounds extreme, but ultimately I would say if you don't have the ability to get nourishing food for your body where you are, move. It's really worthwhile. Do what you can if you have the ability and you can pull together resources to get yourself in a place where you can really take care of your body wholeheartedly. Sorry, Indrasen, I'm not fully knowledgeable about that yet, so I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk on it before I have the full picture. Wow, so cool about your space in Greece. That's beautiful. Maybe down the line I will be able to come. I am going to be officially certified by this April as a health counselor, so I can start a certain level of work then. And then by the second year, I'm a full practitioner, so I can do a lot more by the end of the second year. How should I prepare for Padmashivoham? I think the biggest thing you can do to prepare for any one of Swamiji's programs or any really conscious program in general is diet. Do your absolute best to eat very pure. Eat fruits and vegetables as much as you can. If you're not vegetarian, absolutely do your best to remove meat from your diet, meat and eggs from your diet before you go, because that will dilute the ability of your consciousness to reflect in your body, and through yoga and meditation experiences, it might limit it. So the best thing you can do is really go veg or vegan as much as you can. Eat really, really wholesome foods. Try to cook for yourself as much as possible. That's what I would definitely recommend. And of course, you can chant Mahavakya every day. Do a meditation in the morning and chant Mahavakya. So Andrew's asking, when he does yoga in the morning, he ends up doing more than 45 minutes. How do you not overdo yoga? I don't think you can overdo yoga, Andrew. I think that's beautiful. You have to be in touch with your own body. You have to understand if you're feeling the pull to continue on. I get that. I know what you mean. I have that happen to me personally myself. So I totally know that feeling of like you start feeling which muscles need to be more stretched out, which asanas you want to go into. And pranayama is really a beautiful practice as well. So don't limit yourself. Just be in tune with your body for sure. And Swamiji himself recommends at least an hour of yoga every morning. Oh, namaste from Germany. Thank you. Namaste from Los Angeles. Am I practicing celibacy? No, I'm not. I'm married, and I have kind of passed off that phase in my life. That being said, we are also really purposeful with our intimacy in our marriage. So it's not just like what you see projected in the media and all these things. We're really conscious about what we do together as well. Okay. Oh, don't give up on yoga. Yoga will never give up on you. You have to understand, if you give up on yoga, that means you have the wrong understanding of yoga. Yoga is not at all about the physical practice. That is only one little byproduct of the experience of yoga. Yoga is absolutely a spiritual practice, a ritual of connection with yourself, ultimately, with your higher self, which is the divine. And it's really, truly a necessary component, I believe, for your own conscious expansion and your own experience of bliss on a day-to-day basis. So don't give up on it. You just got to find authentic practices and don't compare yourself to others. Don't judge your body for what it is or is not doing. The signs that a body needs to detox. Oh, there are many signs. One biggest teller that your body is having a lot of issues and is full of toxins is your digestion. So a critical part of yoga and Ayurveda philosophy is the health of your gut and your GI. So if you're noticing that you have acid reflux, indigestion, constipation, issues going to the restroom, irregular appetite, all of these are huge tellers of the toxicity of your body. If you're also getting a lot of acne, or you have inflammation or any type of skin issues, that can also be a teller as well. Oh, that's awesome, Laura. Super cool to hear you're interested in becoming a practitioner too. What challenges did I face? Well, I should say what I am facing is definitely time, It's a very comprehensive, in-depth science, and it requires a lot of dedication to learn it authentically. That's definitely the biggest challenge, is balancing my work and my social media life and my school and classes and the thing that I need to do to keep up with that. But it is definitely a worthy endeavor, and I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to do it. It's really fulfilling, like so fulfilling. I couldn't recommend it enough. All right, guys, I actually need to sign off this live stream, but your questions were so amazing. Thank you so much for your interaction and questions, and I'm so grateful to connect with you guys here. If you want any direct communication with me, you can also follow me on Instagram. I'm mostly active on Instagram, I would say, outside of YouTube, so you can follow me there. Kundalini Yogini Prasiddha is my Instagram handle, and I post a lot. I post pretty frequently there as well, and on my story a lot, so you can always follow me there and message me there, as well as my Facebook page, which is the same name. So either one, you can contact me there. And thank you guys for tuning in. It's been great talking to you. Thank you so much. Nithyanandam, everyone. All my love and blessings to you. Hope you have a beautiful week.